Okay, welcome everyone, and good evening. Thank you for joining Boston Solar's first live webinar. My name is Rick Medina, and I am an energy consultant for Boston Solar. Today's event will run approximately 30 minutes, and we will have time at the end for Q&A. Today's topic is how solar can help you save in times of uncertainty. I think we could all agree that this is one of those times, and it is important to understand what we can control. One thing that we can control is how much we are paying to power our home or business. And I think we can use the savings from solar towards other things that we like. So let's get started. So I'd like to start with just explaining a little bit about who we are. And Boston Solar, we were founded in 2010. And in the past 9 years, we have installed over 4,100 solar installations in the state of Massachusetts. We are 100% locally owned and operated, and we are vertically integrated. Our clients love that our systems come with a 25-year system warranty, in addition to our 10-year solar production guarantee. We are the highest customer satisfaction solar company on the internet, and we like to keep it that way. And here you see we are the top-rated Massachusetts-based solar contractor 4 years in a row. We are very happy with these awards, and our ratings on Google, Facebook, Solar Reviews, they've all been fantastic. At Boston Solar, we're dedicated to helping our customers save money, as well as improving the environment and supporting our local community. And I think that's very important. Here you'll see some companies that we partner with. Mass Energy Experts is one of our sister companies, so if you're looking for a home energy evaluation, I would recommend Mass Energy Experts. And we've also done a lot of fundraising for various causes. The Boys and Girls Club in Woburn, that is where our office is located. So we've installed a solar system there, and we continue to help them raise funds for great causes. In addition, Lucy's Love Bus, we're very proud that we donate $50 for every customer that goes solar to Lucy's Love Bus. And for those of us that are not familiar with Lucy's Love Bus is a bus that provides massage therapy wellness. And they do it for the children at the floating hospital in Boston. So we're very proud to, keep our roots in Massachusetts because we are a Massachusetts company. So let's talk about how solar works, and we're going to cover the solar 101, if you will. When the sunlight hits your solar panel, it's going to cause a reaction, and that reaction is going to create DC power, which is direct current. Once the DC power is created, it's then going to go through an inverter system, and that converts it from DC to AC. AC, alternating current, is the electricity that we use for our homes and our businesses. So once the power is converted to AC, its first stop is going to be your electric panel. And if you are home and you are using electricity, you are going to use that power right away. If you are not home and the solar panels are producing power, that power will actually go back out to the grid, and your meter will physically spin backwards. And that's when you get net metering credits. So on a normal day-to-day basis, you should actually generate more power than you need during the day and build up credits to use at night when your solar panels are not working. And your credits do roll over month to month. So we anticipate that between March and August, you will generate the majority of your annual power with solar, and you will have a bank of kilowatt hours with the utility company to use in the winter months when the solar cannot cover your entire needs in the winter months. And here are some pictures, some examples of some of our solar installations. And you'll see here that we do offer residential solar installations as well as commercial solar installations. In addition, our most popular installation is going to be roof mounted, but we do offer ground mounted systems as well as trackers. And as long as it's solar, we'll definitely help you. So here are some just aesthetics, and you'll see there are different types of panels. And I will say every home and every family and every business is different. So we do like to customize, the consumer system to meet their specific needs. So if you went solar and your neighbor went solar, there is a chance that you might pick two different panels and two different inverter systems. We really like to customize this per customer, per family, per business owner. Since the rooftop installation is our most popular installation, you will see the racking that's involved with a rooftop solar install. And this racking, how it's attached to the roof, is we're actually going to find your rafters, and we are going to drill a 1/4-inch pilot hole into your rafter. And in that pilot hole, we are going to put a metal silicone putty. So when the lag bolt gets attached to your rafter, that putty will actually expand and harden, which makes an airtight seal, and we won't have to worry about any leaking. And you'll see the finished product here. You'll see the metal flashing that goes over the penetration, and this metal flashing actually gets tucked underneath the row of shingles above it to allow rainwater to roll over the shingle and keep on rolling right over the flashing as well. Now, we do live in snow country, so we do offer snow guards for certain applications. If you are installing solar panels directly above the main entrance to your home, we would recommend snow guards just above your main entrance, because when snow does clear from the solar panels, it will have a tendency to clear in one continuous sheet. So the snow guards really help to break that up, and like I said, the applications where this is necessary would be directly over your front entrance or directly over your driveway if you park your car in a driveway overnight. Critter Guard is something that we are going to recommend for all of our rooftop installations, and we find that this is a very important add-on. And the reason that this is important is because for some reason the squirrels love to chew on the wires that are underneath your solar system. So with the Critter Guard, we're actually closing the gap between the solar panel and the roof to avoid buildup of debris and to really keep the squirrels and birds from nesting or chewing on your wires underneath your panels. So this Critter Guard will only allow air and water to flow beneath your system. Very important part to your system. Now, as far as electrical components are concerned, I love to show this picture here to really show you, to get an idea, okay, what's the equipment look like? And so you obviously have your solar panels and your inverters and your racking that goes up on top of the roof. But what you see here is the standard application for a residential system. This is your existing electric meter here. So this is already installed on your property. This box here is called a PV load center. And what this means in layman's terms is it's the communication hub for your inverters. Next to the PV load center, you will see the smart meter socket. And this is where the utility will install a smart meter to track every kilowatt hour that your system produces. And the reason we want to track every kilowatt that your system produces is because the smart program actually pays you a certain agreed upon amount per kilowatt for your first 10 years of having a solar system. Next to the smart meter, what you'll see is an AC disconnect box, which is just basically an on and off switch for your system. All right, so let's keep on moving here. And this is a picture of your N-phase IQ7 or IQ7 Plus microinverter. This is our preferred installation inverter, and the reason being there is not one centralized inverter with one point of failure. And if you install a centralized inverter and that inverter fails, your entire solar system will actually stop producing electricity. We find with the microinverters, if one inverter fails, the entire system, besides that one panel, will continue to produce energy. And this is very important, and it also, because the conversion from DC to AC is happening directly behind the solar panel, there's less loss of electricity. And so this is our preferred method, but we do offer both if a customer has a preference to inverter types. Now, how we are going to save you money with solar. There are currently 3 big incentives that help us afford solar and really bring down the return on investment. And you'll see here the federal tax credit Last year it was 30%, and in 2020 it is currently 26%. And if you get your system installed next year, it will go down to 22%. And then in 2022, it gets cut more than half down to 10%. So, striking while the iron is hot is definitely, going to make sense in terms of the federal tax credit. The SMART program is the second state incentive state program, and it is the Solar Massachusetts Renewable Target Program. Now, this is made up from the utility companies and the state of Massachusetts, and we do pay into this program on our electric bills. So this is where we actually get you locked in to collect a certain amount per kilowatt hour for whatever your system is producing. And then in addition, we also have the state tax credit. And this is handled when you do your taxes, just like what the federal tax credit is. And this is a $1,000 state tax credit. So when the three incentives are all added up and you calculate your investment versus your incentives, we find that 50% or more of your solar system is actually covered through incentives, which is incredible. Now, as far as ownership is concerned, we do have customers that pay cash outright for their solar systems. We also work with the Mass Solar Loan Program. So through Mass Solar Loan, you can actually shop different banks and try and get the best interest rate that you can for your loan. And then we also have SunGage financing, and SunGage is a fixed term between 5 years and 20 years, and the interest rates are going to vary depending on the term. We also find a common financing option is homeowners are using home equity lines of credit to purchase their solar systems. So there are many different avenues for you to be able to own your solar system for less than what you're paying right now for electricity. And I think that's the key part. When we look at the financing on a solar loan, your monthly payment to own your system tends to be less than just paying your electric bill to Eversource or National Grid. And so when we look at the three reasons why people are switching to solar, the first reason is to give yourself control over the rising costs of the utility. The second reason is to save money. And I think the third and most important reason why solar is going to make sense is to help the environment. And I think, setting up our future generations to have clean air to breathe and clean water to drink. Now, what you'll see here is a sample electric bill, and this is an Eversource bill. There are two major utilities in the Commonwealth, and one is Eversource and one is National Grid. Now, this is a sample of an Eversource bill from one of our customers who has a solar system installed. And the thing that I love to point out here is how much is actually due on this bill. So if you look at the amount due in January of last year, it is negative $207.77. And that's a really exciting thing to see on your bill. So as you are accruing credits through net metering and you're building up these credits, you actually start seeing your bill go into the negative. And that way in the winter months, when you need extra power, you don't have to buy it from Eversource. Your credits will actually just take care of any bill that you are still buying from the utility company. Another example that I love to show is the page 2 of the electric bill. And what you'll see here is this is pretty incredible. In the months between April and pretty much October, you'll see that the solar system produced more than the customer consumed. So the kilowatt hour usage from the grid is actually zero. And we love to see that. And these are the months where the credits are really starting to accrue. And you'll see that in the month of December, this customer's solar system didn't produce 100% of their needs. So they got a bill for those 193 kilowatt hours. And that bill was offset more than likely by the extra power that they produced in the summer months. So it's a pretty straightforward, month by month calculation. And when you look at the full picture of the year, I would say the majority of your energy with solar will be produced between March and September. And through the winter months, that's when you're going to be using those extra credits. Now, a couple of charges that I love to point out here are the customer charge. So this charge here is $7, and this is just to be a customer, just like it sounds. So essentially, an easy way to think of it is just to have the line connected from your home to the road. Now, your bill is made up of two parts. You have your energy supply, so this is the cost to actually create the electricity, And then you have the delivery, so to actually send it out on the lines to your home. And what blows my mind here is that just to get it to your home, you're actually paying more than to create the power, and that's pretty eye-opening there. So in order to calculate, a lot of customers will ask, well, what am I paying Eversource for electricity? And that's a really good question. To get you an accurate, charge for your kilowatt hours of consumption, all you're going to do is take your total current charges, and you are going to subtract the constant customer charge. So in this case, you would take $79.32, and you would subtract the $7 connection charge, and then you would just divide by the total number of kilowatts on your bill, which in this case would be 314. And that's how you're going to get your actual cost per kilowatt. I would say the average Eversource charge currently is around 23 cents per kilowatt hour. And unlucky for us, the state of Massachusetts has the third highest cost of electricity. I believe it's Hawaii, then California, and then Massachusetts. So we definitely have a problem. And the good news is we have an answer for that problem. A couple other things to point out on your bill is there is a distributed solar charge here. Now, this charge that everyone is paying into is the fund that is creating the SMART program. So when you go solar and you start getting paid for every kilowatt hour that you're producing, this is where the fund is coming from. Another charge that you see here is energy efficiency. And this charge is to fund the program through the Massive Home Energy Evaluation Program. And if you were to do a home energy evaluation, and let's just say that your home needed added insulation, the insulation ends up being 90% covered by this program, which is really incredible. So if you haven't had an energy evaluation, I would recommend reaching out to home energy experts and getting that mass energy experts, and getting that handled. So let's move right along here. And this is just a picture to really drive home that solar panels, although they're warranted for 25 years, they should produce power for 30 to 40 years based on the manufacturer's ratings. So they've been through rigorous testing, and we know that they're eligible to stand up to the test of time, and I think that's really important. So you actually see during Superstorm Sandy, this entire house was actually uprooted from its foundation, but the solar system you see is still there. And the system with the racking, it is rated for upwards of 100-mile-an-hour winds. And this is just one of those extreme examples to show you the longevity of your investment. So now we're going to open up the floor to Q&A, and I would love if anyone had any specific questions. If you could go into the chat section of this call, you can go ahead and leave a question, and I will be able to take a look and get you some answers. Okay. So David R says, great song. I guess he was on early and listening to Here Comes the Sun. That's great. Okay. Now I know this PowerPoint slide was geared towards residential solar installations. So if anyone has any specific commercial solar installation questions, now's a great time to throw those in the chat, and I would be happy to get you the answers that you need. So David R asks, how do I sign up for an appointment? So going back to how every home and every family is different, you definitely would like to set up a consultation where you would get to meet with me, myself, or another energy consultant, and we can really dive deeper into your specific needs and your specific home. So if anyone is interested in setting up an energy consultation, please email info@bostonsolar.us, and we will be happy to help you, go down the road of getting information for your specific property, and we'll go from there. So David, I'm going to reply in the chat here. It is info@bostonsolar.us. Okay, an anonymous question just came in, and it says, can my family use my energy? And that is a great question. So with the utility companies, there's currently something called a Schedule Z form. So if you started to accrue extra credits on an annual basis, and let's just say you got to the point where you had a negative $1,000 electric bill, with the Schedule Z form, we can actually, as long as the person that you want to send your energy to is on your same infrastructure and the same grid, we can actually allocate those credits to a family member, to a local school or church, and you can actually donate your credits. And we even had a customer that sold his neighbor some credits at a discount. So there's plenty of flexibility there. So I hope that answers your question, Anonymous. So you can send your power. If you build credits and you're not going to use them, you can always send your power. Okay. All right. Any other questions that we can help you all with? Okay, and if anyone has any specific questions for me, you can feel free to contact me directly at rick.medina, M-E-D-I-N-A, at bostonsolar.us, and I'd be happy to help. Thank you all for your time, and thanks for joining our first live webinar.